Hello everyone, welcome to another English Solutions for Business and Life video. Today, we will be looking at the Global Intermediate book, Unit 5, Vocabulary section. We will start by looking at some topics, 3 topics in fact. The first one will be government collocations. The second one is education compound nouns, or nouns that have to do with education or school. And the last one, phrasal verbs with the word up. So let's begin. First, let's start at looking at government collocations. As you may know, collocations are groups of words or words that are together that mean different things than when they are alone. And in this case, they have to do with government terms. For example, the first one would be political party. You may know a political party. It's an organized group of people who have the same or similar ideas on how to run a country or a state. There are different political parties in different countries, and people normally choose them via democracy or by voting for them. Now, there's the next one is prime minister. A prime minister is the political leader in countries that have a parliamentary government. They will carry out directives that are mainly given to the head of state, also known as, well, in some countries it would be the president. And for example, in countries such as England, where there is a monarchy or a king or queen that gives the orders, the prime minister would have the functional place of the head of state. Now let's look at another collocation. To pay a fine. Sometimes you may have to pay a fine or a fee when you break a law. For example, when you park incorrectly, you will have to pay a fine to the traffic department, or you may have to pay a fine for something else, something that is done illegally. Now, another collocation would be the town hall. Town hall is the place, the building, which has all the offices in the town's local government. Mostly, a town hall will be in a small town, a medium-sized town, and people will go there to carry out their activities or go to the offices that have to do with the government. Complete a form. To complete a form, it means to fill out a document. A form is any document that you need to fill out. It could be from the government, it could be from a school, for example, if you want to go into the school, get yourself written into the school. There are also digital forms that you may have to fill out. And to complete a form is just to fill out this document. In this case, because we're talking about the government collocations, a form would be an official document that you have to fill out for different reasons, different activities, or different departments of the government. The next collocation is red tape. Red tape is the informal expression for official documents, rules, or processes that cause delays. Some processes in different countries have a lot of red tape, and it takes a lot of time to fill out all those, well, they could be forms. For example, they could be rules, they could be processes. They take a lot of time, and most of the time that is not really necessary, the time that is spent to fill out all those documents. But they're still done. That's called red tape. Next collocation is a civil servant. Civil servant is a person who works in a government department. Now, the last one is government department. Well, what is a government department? Well, it's a part of the government that is in charge of a function. It could be the government department of transport, the government department of economy, and different other functions of the government. They are divided into departments. Now, let's look at education compound nouns. We will look at a couple of nouns or compound nouns from the topic that have to do with education. First one is exam result. Exam results or test results is how well you do in important tests. They could be graded as letters or numbers, percentages, depending on the grading method of the school. Next one is higher education. Higher education, such as university and college, is education that, well, it's not compulsory in the country. Most of the time, it's university and college. Sometimes some countries consider higher education, such as high school, because they're not as highly developed as other countries. So, higher education is that education that, well, it's you add it to your basic education. Basic education being the one that you need to survive in your everyday life as an adult. And higher education would be after that. The next one is learning difficulties. Learning difficulties can be described as problems with learning basic skills. Some children at school, some people when they grow up, they have learning difficulties. It could be because they get distracted easily, or they have some other medical condition, that prevents them from learning their basic skills or as easily as other children or people. Another compound word or noun would be state school. A state school is a school that offers a free education and is most of the time paid by the government. The government would build schools or builds schools even today that give free education for the children, which is compulsory by law. Now, the next compound noun is student loan. Sometimes you may go to a private school, a school that you need to pay for. It could be a university and college, and in order to pay for it, you need a loan. You need to borrow money from a bank or even from the school itself. They lend you money, and you have to pay afterwards. After you finish studying, after you start working, or during your stay at the school, they start asking you to pay the money that they lent you. Next one is vocational qualification. Vocational qualification is something such as a degree or a diploma which will help you in a specific job. Vocational means that it has to do with a specific job, and a qualification is the degree or the diploma that you need to work in that specific job. Lastly, let's look at phrasal verbs with up. Phrasal verbs, as you may know, are verbs that work as a phrase. They are made up by the verb itself and another element such as an adverb or a preposition. In this case, up is a preposition. Let's start by looking the first phrasal verb, It's chop up. Chop up means to cut in pieces. You can chop up vegetables, chop up a bit of meat, and you will need a knife and a board to chop up these ingredients. Next one would be clean up. To clean up, you may use a cloth or cleaning products. You can clean up the kitchen, you can clean up a car. Most of the time, it's a definite space. It's not the same as tidying up. Tidy up, because tidying up means to put the things that are spread all over the place in their specific places where they go. That is to tidy up. To clean up, you clean up a surface of an object, or the surface of a table, for example, a working place, and you would most of the time need cleaning products or a cloth in order to clean up the area. Next one is eat up. To eat up, you only need your mouth. It's the same as eating something. Now, you would say you eat up something when you finish it completely. And eat up is most of the time used as an imperative verb. That means that someone tells another person to do something, like a command or a recommendation. Eat up. For example, you have to eat up everything on your plate. That's an imperative sentence. Next one is heat up. Heat up. Well, heat up is pretty simple. You can heat up a bowl of water. You can heat up a bowl of soup. It basically means that you raise its temperature by using the stove or using the oven. You heat up something. You can also use a frying pan or a microwave to heat up food, or it could be another material. It doesn't have to be something in the kitchen. You can heat up a piece of metal also. It just means to raise the temperature of something. Next one is to mix up. Mix up. Mix up can have two meanings. The first one, it could be to literally mix something up, like a bowl of salad or a bowl of different ingredients. You can use a spoon or a whisk in order to mix up the contents. Could be maybe an egg. You could mix it up inside a bowl, and using a fork or a spoon or even chopsticks, you mix it up to make a mixture of the ingredients. To mix up could also mean more figurative action. To mix up someone's name, to mix up information. You mix it up in your head, and so you may make a mistake when talking to someone. That means to mix up. Now let's look at the last one, the last phrasal verb. It's wash up. To wash up, you would need water and a sink or bowl. It has basically the same meaning as just washing. You can wash up the kitchen, you can wash up the dishes, you can wash up the vegetable. And it just means to clean them using water, using a thorough process. with water or with cleaning products. Okay? That's it for this video, for the vocabulary section. I hope it has helped you at least a little bit to understand the vocabulary that we looked at during these topics. If you have any more questions, you can always ask your teacher about them. And for now, I hope you like this video. We'll see you next time.